Hello everybody, Aiden here, and welcome to another video on the Around the Slice Entertainment YouTube channel. I am very excited to be with you guys right now because I am officially kicking off a new weekly review series here on the channel because as we know, I just finished watching Apple TV's Cape Fear, the 2 episode premiere of that, which, side note, I absolutely loved. Before we get into that entire discussion, though, for today, however, if you like any of this, enjoy any of this type of content, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel, as we always have tons of awesome, interesting, and fun content coming out around here on a weekly basis at this point in time. I know today's Saturday at the time of this video recording and drop, but going forward, every Friday, we're going to have Cape Fear, and then we have 2 very exciting TV shows at the end of the month in The Bear Season 5 and Season 2 of the Avatar The Last Airbender live action series. And then we have 3 major movies all throughout this month in Disclosure Day, Toy Story 5 remaining, and Supergirl. And then in July, we have the 2 summer big blockbusters in The Odyssey, and of course, another MCU entry in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So yeah, Apple TV. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, and it's not intentional or on purpose. I just don't utilize the streaming service of Apple TV all that often, if I'm being completely transparent and honest with you guys. It's nothing intentional, but I just gravitate towards other stuff such as HBO Max and, of course, Disney Plus with Marvel, Star Wars, and that shit and whatnot. I like Apple TV shows when I get into them. I just have quite a few to catch up on in terms of Silo, Ted Lasso, recent ones such as Pluribus, Your Friends and Neighbors going on right now. What's the other one people are like right now? Widow's Bay. So I'm a nerd and I'm not covering it for you guys just because Apple TV is not something I gravitate towards. I'm not kidding you. When I watched them today, Cape Fear, it was the first time I had even opened and went into, I was still logged in thankfully, but opened and went into Apple TV on my actual TV. See what I did there? On my actual TV since Severance ended last March? So it had been over a year, give or take over a year, right around there. So yeah. Anyways, though, let's get into this. As I said at the top in the intro thing, I absolutely adored these first 2 premiere episodes. Right off the bat, from the outside looking in, Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg as executive producers of the show. It's outstanding to even comprehend and fathom, guys. Like that, though, what one hell of a duo. Like that alone should push you towards clicking on the series and pressing play on the series as it mixes Martin Scorsese's crime thriller elements and edge of your seat intense crime thriller elements with Steven Spielberg's more supernatural, suspense-filled alien past work type elements. So those 2 alone should really get you excited. Now let's talk about the show at hand of Cape Fear. I feel like with crime thrillers sometimes, much to my dismay, a lot of the time, sometimes I should say rather, it's a slow burn. It's a multiple episode build up within the season. But with Cape Fear, we don't got any of that going on, guys. This show takes no time whatsoever to get into the thick meat / heart of the plot. It throws us right into things. There's very little setup. The first 20 to 25 minutes, if that, of the very first episode are plot and exposition heavy. But past that, we're meeting all our characters. We're meeting all our locations. We're meeting the main settings and scenes of the entire show as a whole. And speaking of meeting the show as a whole, I want to talk about the very first opening of episode 1, the series at hand in general. Obviously, it opens with the suicide of, Max Cady's mistress, and I'm going to admit, bold as hell. Pretty bold ass way to open this series. But that being said, at the same time, from a writing and viewer standpoint, it was a very clever way to open the series, as it shows us and proves what the stakes of this show are, where it's very ominous and nothing is off limits in terms of being very creepy and ominous and insanity going on there. So it's a very bold way to open with the whole suicide sequence, but of the mistress. But very clever from a writing and audience standpoint at the same time. I want to talk about how episode 1 ended. I thought the intensity of this entire scene / sequence was really well done in terms of the episode 1 cliffhanger. Obviously, we know now someone drugged Zach. I have a feeling it was Max. Maybe it was himself. I don't know. And he also lost a toe. It's kind of disgusting. In episode 2, they showed it was in his throat and then he coughed it up. Weird as fuck. But besides that, I thought the cliffhanger of that whole situation, if you would, at hand at the episode 1 was really well done. They didn't dwell on it too much. It wasn't too fast paced. They gave it time to breathe, but at the same time, they showed us the intensity and stakes of the situation and what was going on. And then you could hear just Max laughing in the background in their heads. So, yeah. This situation threw me off. I think it was towards the beginning of episode 2, towards the middle, somewhere around there, give or take. What have you. The situation with Byron and his mother. We barely spent any time at all with Byron, let alone his mother as well. And then, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, they both end up dead at the hands of Byron after he literally just got out of prison for wrongfully being convicted, I guess. I don't know. The whole kind of setup was weird there. It doesn't really have much to do with the plot at hand right now, but I have a strong, with shows like this, you knew this is coming. I have a strong feeling that the whole situation of Byron and his mother that I just talked about at hand will come up in multiple episodes later on within the season. Maybe it'll be used as evidence. Maybe it'll tie into Max. Maybe it'll tie into the situation of Max and Zach separately or together. Who knows? But with shows like this, you can't just discount any throwaway things like this. It might seem like a throwaway right now, but that whole situation, I strongly feel that an opinionated that's going to come up later on. Speaking of the character of Max Cady, I want to talk about his personality because at first, from the moment you see him on screen and then he does all these interviews, he seems like, oh, I'm innocent now. I just got out after 17 years in prison. I have a new appreciation on life, lease on life, if you will. He seems like a chill, laid-back dude. But when you think about it further, you put all the context clues together and all the personality traits together and whatever, what is going on with him, he seems to me like he's a very calculated and quiet threat. Yes, I said threat because I don't think he's fooling anybody, especially myself, audience members such as myself. I do think he's a very threat, although a very calculated and quiet threat. All these events I feel like are going to build up to something happening. All these certain personality traits and character traits with Max and people around him are going to build up to something very, very significant. So that's episode 1 plus me touching on a bit of Max and his personality. Episode 2, I thought it opened with a great flashback, guys, of Max getting beat up in prison 7 years ago. It really showed how Max came to be in the current day and age. It really showed how the background and the brain damage type stuff. I thought that was a great flashback. I don't have too many specific really, that's only my one big specific takeaway. I really enjoyed how the flashback was handled. And Max himself is very calculated and quiet, assassin and threat, if you will, like I just said. Now, I'm about to give you guys a official prediction right now. I know this might sound batshit insane. I know this might sound completely outlandish to 99.9% of you watching out there right now. But this is a crime thriller. We're only 2 episodes in, so what the hell? Fuck it. Let's throw it out there. My official prediction, brain headcanon prediction right now, is Zach is working with Max, the son. Zach is working with Max behind his parents' back. Both his parents are lawyers. Tom, the father, was the prosecutor of Max. Max, it seems to be like a quiet assassin and threat, if you will, like I just mentioned. And Zach seems to be really secretive, the online girlfriend. But then at the end, we see Anna, the mother, who played by amazing performance by Amy Adams already. We see towards the end, she looks at his phone, and it's the same exact words that Max used in the interview as in the text messages. So maybe Max is I feel like there's a scheme going on behind the 2 parents' back, mother and father, respectively, where Zach is working with Max, and maybe it will all come to a head very later on in the season. That's probably not true. I know some of you are probably a lot of you are probably rolling, it's like, Aiden, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the most dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. But yeah, you gotta throw it out there. I do at least, because you never know with outlandish crime thrillers like this. I know it's outlandish, but this is the nerdy time to talk about it, so we got to talk about it. Anyways, guys, no more burying the lead. I'm going to give these two premiere episodes a 10 out of 10. Complete 10 out of 10 around the Slice Entertainment stamp of approval. This is the best premiere, but not by far, but this is the best premiere I've seen in a very long time. Apple TV, HBO Max. Well, coming off of Euphoria on HBO and HBO Max, anything can be better than that. Holy shit. Anyways, guys, 10 out of 10 for the first two episode premiere of Cape Fear with Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg as executive producers. That's awesome as fuck on Apple TV. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you have for a score? If you don't have a score, what are some things you liked about this two episode premiere? What are some things you didn't like about it? Maybe you have any favorite characters, least favorite characters so far? Are there any underrated storylines or thoughts or opinions at the top of your mind, burning up your mind right now that I didn't talk about that? Let me know that down in the comments below down there. You can follow me personally on Twitter at AYGardner13 for any additional movie and TV show and nerd thoughts, discussions, and opinions over there. Please share this video and channel with anyone and everyone you know. Just a reminder, going forward, every Friday we will have new videos covering new episodes of Cape Fear. Again, every Friday going forward after today. I appreciate you guys as always. The growth is always very much appreciated. See you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this to death as much as I did. I am absolutely hooked, to say the least. See you in the next one. Goodbye.